Breaking news just coming across our desk.
Sure.
Welcome to the Solution to Real Estate podcast, where Jeff Seabuck and Phil Sexton, we sit down, we've got mics between us, we talk about the industry. However, we were off last week.
Yes.
And we had no podcast scheduled for this week. So we said, no. We got to share with everybody. Like the amount of calls and emails and text messages.
Geez, thank you. It's been overwhelming. I appreciate it very much.
Yes. Where are you at?
Where are you at? Yeah.
We need more Jeff.
Yes.
So here we are to come to you guys to let you know what we're up to next week, because it's actually something that you can participate in if you're interested. And that is, drum roll, please.
Yeah, Leopard, the National Association of Real Estate Agents for Consumers, is taking it on the road.
We're going to Inman, baby.
We're going to Vegas, baby.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Wow.
thank you so much for all of your support. The reason why we haven't been unavailable for the last 2 weeks is we're preparing for the big show, Phil.
We got 6 classes that we're teaching.
6 classes, right? Like
Yes.
you thought today you were going to log in for one conversation, and instead you can get 6 classes. The only challenge is that you got to buy a virtual ticket to Inman.com. I think we should talk a little bit about Inman, because I don't know that we've talked about that.
Yeah, and I want to give the titles for all the classes that we're doing as well. But first, Inman Connect is one of the largest non-association real estate conferences in the country. It's non-association and it's non-brokerage.
Yeah.
Right. It's like a cross brokerage. Brad Inman got it going. Brad Inman was like a news reporter in the real estate space. He started Inman.com, and that has become one of the most.
Yeah. INMAM.com. You know, I've written many articles for them. Go ahead.
They nominated us as one of the most innovative real estate agents in the country. 3 years in a row.
3 years in a row. And now we are, on
stage with Leopard.
On stage with Leopard.
Yes.
Who would have imagined
that
our little project is going
and
mainstream.
Adam, our producer,
Yes.
He didn't think we were going to make it.
You know what? I mean, the thing is we're charging straight ahead with this. It's so fun. But let's kind of get into the classes. So it's going to be
wait. What you were going to say before the classes, though, is if you guys want to participate, buy a ticket to Inman Connect.
Yes.
You can either be in person or you can be virtual, where you can watch them without traveling to Vegas.
If you are traveling to Vegas, we'd love to see you there. We're going to be there. We're going to be participating. We're going to be speakers, but we're also going to be attendees. We're going to be partiers because we're in Vegas.
And I'm going to MC the team's track. Jeff.
Oh man, I can't wait. He's on the big stage.
On the main stage.
Right, yeah. Like we got breakout sessions for Leopard, but we are sponsoring the team track, and Phil is going to MC.
You know, the best part about MCing something like this is I get to add my uninterrupted fodder to every conversation that happens, where they've got 5 different sessions of team leaders that are going to be coming in to talk about what they're doing in their team, how they're recruiting with their team, how they're running their team, how they hire people in their team.
I thought you were going to say we get to go in the green room backstage.
I mean, that's cool too. But to come up and be like, that was awesome because of this, but guys, don't forget to think about this and this and this and this and this as well. All right, let's welcome the next person on the stage. I'm just really looking forward. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I was actually looking forward to maybe running into Andy Florence back there to ask him what's going on with the co-star and their new announcement. But hey, fun. So,
AF. You want to run into AF? Yeah.
Well, I mean,
me too.
He was t-shirt worthy, so
he's a big dog.
Yeah, he's not only a big dog, he's one wealthy son of a bee, right? Like,
true.
Pretty successful though. I mean, he came out of college with a dream and executed, and that's pretty commendable.
And
right?
he's just a human.
He's just a human.
Isn't that crazy? What we're all capable of?
He's just a human worth a couple $2 billion.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about our guy. All right. So back to the class.
All right. So first class is going to be, and the reason why we want you to pay attention to the class titles today, because if you have questions about it, you can reach out to us directly, specifically. So class number 1 is how to create passive income while staying at your brokerage. Yes, for those that follows the EXP, we have the EXP, but this is above and beyond. It is also available to everybody at EXP, but if you're at Remax, if you're at Keller Williams, you can take advantage of it.
There's revenue streams. There's revenue streams other than brokerage commissions that real estate agents aren't paying attention to.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And the reason is because, you know, we have lots of classes, Phil. I mean, would you say there's just lots and lots and lots of classes, and we have shows and all that stuff, but not our show, but all the other classes either have a vendor in them or a broker in them. And both of those don't benefit from the agent making passive income, because essentially they're a competitor of you getting passive income. Why you should, you know, come and listen to Income is, or to Inman, is because so you can understand how you can create passive income while staying at your brokerage. I don't know if you need to hear more, but don't you like to do one thing and get 3 checks or 4 checks? I do. We do, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually think that in order to compete, one of the reasons why we love this is because to compete with the big dogs out there, we're starting to see them roll out their bundle and save models across the board.
Yeah.
And us real estate agents who are in the business of generating leads and converting those leads have to be able to compete. And this is the only way that we have figured out how to not hurt the revenue in the face of commission compression. Like, how do you defend against commission compression is you set up other revenue streams.
It's kind of like we're going to have a second conversation with Rob Hahn. So, because now we're offering mortgage and title, and the big dogs like Rocket Mortgage and Home Depot or Loan Depot
Yeah.
and Zillow and Redfin are all offering mortgage, title, like all these services. So we're, in that case, we're actually directly do a mortgage with Zillow or do the mortgage with the CBOC team.
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. All right,
That's that's only one. We've got 6.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're
Number
we
2.
We don't want to just fly by. I want to give you a little detail, right? Number 2, photo attraction.
How to get more people to come see your listings.
I would say this is not the thing that people think of the most, right? Like when you think of photo attraction, I don't hear a lot of conversations and I mean, think about how many questions we have fielded. How do I drive more traffic to my listings?
Lots.
Huh?
By our agents.
Okay. All right.
Like we never have any, there's never any materials. Like we don't go to national conventions to learn about it.
Right. Agreed.
Right?
No, and that's what I'm
But
saying is
hallway
I don't see,
conversations.
why we're teaching this class is because we feel it's the seller is hiring you, the agent, and you're an independent contract, or in other words, called an entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur, your job is marketing for that seller. And then when you do marketing, is your goal just to put it in MLS and sit and wait for the house to sell? No, your job is to market for the seller, to drive buyers, right? To give them feedback, to be the true entrepreneur that, I mean, marketing is to attract buyers to your listing, right? Like, what are you doing to attract, so if you want to learn more about how photo attraction, how we attract more, I think more traffic than anyone else in the business. So, all right.
Number 3, Teams 101. This is taking it down. Let's slow it down. Teams 101, get into the basics. What are your splits?
Right. So in this one, we're going to talk about, we started actually, when we started the team, we only had a buyer side split. We didn't have a seller side split.
Yeah.
But it was really about making the agents focus on buyers, because it's harder to win listings. I think that people are miffed by the fact that they can list their friend's house or their mother's house or their aunt's house, and they think that's the same. But when you're really going out and competing in the open market, trying to win, it's dog eat dog. But this is about splits, right? So
yeah,
we run a broker style team. Go ahead.
No, and it's just how we handle situations that affect the splits that we offer, where we have pre-printed agreements. When agents come aboard, they sign those pre-printed agreements. And at what point have we decided to change those agreements and why? And so we get into where we started, where we are now, and whether it was the brokerage that influenced it, or the market that influenced it, or the skill set of our agents that influenced it, our agreements have changed. And so we're going to get into what our model is, but also what other models are out there.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about how we've interviewed, I think it's close to 50 major teams in the Phoenix area, and talk about the other split models are out there. So because a popular one is that, the 50-50 model or 60-40 or 55-45 on leads, depending on, I even seen them up to 70-30. If it's a strong person that owns a particular neighborhood, they can charge more because they have, 60 or 70% of the business or whatever it is. So it's just talking about the pros and cons, right? Because, like I'll give you a hint, like the 50-50 model, the biggest con is tons of turnover, but nobody talks about that. They don't talk about the turnover machine that
the high cost teams have.
Yeah.
Number 4 on inside look. This is actually the one that's up on my screen right now that we are tying down. And that is an inside look at the systems and processes of a team.
So you're talking about lead distribution, Phil?
Systems and processes is the only way that an organization can scale. And what tools we use inside of those systems and processes to help.
Like what do we do for onboarding, right?
Yeah.
Like how do we do for offboarding?
How about the interview process? Like what do we do when somebody contacts us in order to get into a room with them? What do we talk about in the room? Like what process do we follow? What system do we follow when we explain who our team is? When somebody comes on board, even
how about the
onboarding or
listing
offboarding?
process?
The listing process.
Right?
Oh
like
my gosh.
Yes, right? Like Adam, can you come up and talk about
listing?
it?
How about lead distribution? Right? When agents sit down and they're thinking about joining the team, they often say, now, how do you figure out who gets what leads? Like, here's our system and process for that, where we're going to bring in what we do to manage our team to teach other people.
I think people are going to be shocked at I'm going to give you credit, is the organization of our systems. But the reality is if you want to grow a large team, it has to be built on solid framework, right? Like it has to be built. And what that means in simple terms is it has to be written down and committed to, because the only way it gets better is by writing it down and then making the adjustments, week after week, month after month, right? Like how do you, because if you don't know what you're doing, meaning you don't have it written down,
then team management will eat you alive.
Yeah, you won't last. Right. Good deal.
All right, number 5.
One that we had here already, right?
Yes,
so you've probably heard this one already. There's been some changes to it, and that is what Zillow has taught us about lead conversion. And what it is not just what Zillow has taught us, it's what we have learned watching what the leading converters across the country are doing.
Yes.
Right. Like it's not like Zillow came here and it's taught, like it's more of our, I mean, we're going to convert 200 Zillow leads this year.
It's not like it's not even just about the Zillow leads. We're going to convert how many leads from not just the Zillow we've gotten from Zillow, but then because we have implemented strategies that they've taught us to make our other lead sources more profitable.
Yeah. Awesome. And then lastly, I think the most important one, and you would think, because agents can be and have to be proud of who they are, right? Like they have to, real estate is the king of, I'm really good at something, right? Like if you go to Russell Saw's class, like he teaches you, you got to be confident and you got to be proud. And which makes me think that since that everybody's got an internet device in their hand, that they would realize that they got to look good on the internet device. But the reality is they don't. And that's what we call agent cosmetology.
Agent cosmetology. What do you look like online when people are determining whether they call you or not?
Yeah. Are you aware that when someone sees your sign with your name, that they're going to Google you, and then they're either going to pass on you or go with you based on what you look? And in our experience, by looking at people, they're not aware that that's what why they're losing.
So we're going to give our top 8 takeaways on what people, the low-hanging fruit, what they should be focused on to make them sing easily.
Yeah.
And then after that, that's Tuesday. 3 of those classes are on Tuesday. 3 of those classes are on Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to wrap it up with the teams track.
We might have to attend the happy hour after the team's track. If you are going to Inman, we'd love to see you there. We are hosting a happy hour because we're going to need it after 6 classes in 2 days. And woo!
All right. So thank you guys for being listeners, supporters. Reach out to us if you're at Inman as well. We'd love to meet you. Let's take some selfies. Jeff, you're all about selfies.
I take a couple selfies.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Have a good week.